Hello and welcome to your YouTube tarot scopes from me, Kate May, Modern Day Mystic, for May. So I've just started to come into May. It's the first few days. I'm a little bit late doing it, but let's see what we've got starting for Aries. Okay, Aries, you have the Devil card for May. So the Devil card is, for me, all about temptation down the wrong path, your hands being tied, control factors. So you might find that somebody is controlling you at the moment, or that you're being controlled with a negative influence around it. Be careful of any temptations down the wrong path, because sometimes these pop up just to sort of test us a little bit there, Aries. If you're the one being controlling, if you're the one that's holding people's hands and you're not giving them their freedom, just be a bit more flexible with them this month. You could be also drawn down, like I said, negative influences, temptation that isn't going to lead to where you want it to go. So weigh up all your options quite carefully this month, Aries. If you're feeling a bit low, if you're feeling a bit depressed, always remember that with every card there is a positive. So this card is better when it's reversed, and then the chains can come out and you can be free from whatever it is that's controlling you. So if Aries, you're feeling out of control of a situation, just re-look at the situation, just take a step back and see where you can break yourself free from whatever it is that's binding you at the moment. If you're doing something that you know isn't right, whether it's eating the wrong food, whether it's the wrong company, whether it's whatever it is, this month it says re-look at things. Don't, you're not going to be like to be controlled, Aries. You're normally the one to be, not controlling, but to have your freedom, let's put it that way. So this won't sit comfortable with you. If you're dealing with anybody with addictions of any kind, or anybody around you that might be going down a difficult path, just be there to support them, not control them, and let them realise that they don't have to be as tied as what they first think they are. So hopefully, Aries, that makes sense for you. We'll move on to Taurus. What have we got for Taurus? That's interesting. Rest and recuperation. So I'm a Taurus and I'm going away this week for some much needed rest and recuperation. It's been a hectic, however many months, at least 6 months for me. So I'm really looking forward to a few days off. So Taurus is rest and recuperation. You've had the new moon, Taurus, for yourself this last week as well. So you might be feeling the effects of all the planetary influences. Naturally a lazy sign on one side, Tauruses. This might sound a little bit odd if you are that way, to rest and recuperate. But just know that this month from May, for you, it is about taking a step back. It could be anything to do with arguments or work or anything that's stress related. It's asking you to take a step back, rest, recuperate, so that you can come back fully charged, you can come back fully energised to be able to deal with whatever it is that you need to deal with. If something's been bugging you on your mind, if something really has been sticking out, whatever it is, that one thing that's been really sticking out, then just put it to rest for the minute and just know that you can come back. Maybe you're going around in circles, maybe you're not thinking clearly, Tauruses, and by putting it to rest, by having some time out, you can then come back to it in a much more logical fashion there. So time out, rest, recuperate, and step away from any influences that aren't supporting you at the moment. When you do have time out, even if it is just a weekend, put your feet up, rest, recuperate, get fully charged, switch your phone off, switch the work off, and enjoy a bit of peace and quiet there. Then we move on to Geminis. A bit more of a positive card, Gemini. Celebrations, Gemini. This card is about positive influence of celebrations, could be marriage, could be your hard work paying off, recognition. It's indicating that number 4 is a nice foundation setter. So it's indicating that the foundation is coming good, and that you're either rebalancing yourself or you're resetting your foundation there, Gemini. Your hard work is starting to pay off. You could find that recognition is coming in the way, and that a couple of people are celebrating with you as well. You might find that it involves 2 of you, like a new house or a new project that you've been building towards, and that May starts to see that foundation and that fruition building there, and it working for 2 people, but other people celebrating in that. But happy celebrations, happy family life, recognition and rewards coming in for you, Geminis. Oh, I have a cat. Ooh, my old man cat. Here you go, baby. Move on to Cancerians next. Nice card, Cancerian. Wait, why don't you just sit right there, baby? Cancerians. Ace of Wands, very, very positive card. Now I'm just going to move. Come here, baby, sit down there, darling. Ace of Wands for Cancerians. Now this indicates new ideas, new beginnings. It's saying go for it. It's saying you've got a new idea and that you might have a new job opportunity coming in. There's new creation. There could be new life that's coming in around you. But it's indicating go for it. A lot of inspiration that's coming your way, Cancerians. It could indicate that it's coming out of the blue for you as well. New ideas, new offers, new inspiration it might be coming out of the blue. Could even be surprise baby news that's coming there. So sorry, smooth. Surprise baby news that's coming in there for you. But it's a very good card. It is indicating that the ace is always beginning, so it is indicating a new idea, new spark coming in, and it branching off into lots of new opportunities there. So whatever is coming in for you, Cancerian, go for it. Inspiration, new creation, new job, new work, new life coming up, and it feels very exciting and very powerful. So good news for Cancerians there. As we move into Leo, another good card, Wheel of Fortune. Now this is about, you can take this in two ways, Leo. If you're going to be sat at home just waiting for things to happen, not actually doing any action, you're going to stay where you are, which might be just going round and round in circles. But if you actually take action and start doing what it is you want to do, what you've been dreaming about, what you've been thinking about, where you want the action to happen, then the Wheel of Fortune indicates that you can get things moving. It indicates that things will come full circle, there will be balance and harmony, and you'll have a lot more knowledge to get things moving. What it also indicates is that once things get moving, you can then go with the flow. You can then sit back, go with the flow a lot more, and not have to put quite so much action and effort into a situation or something that you've first started with. But it is a butt moving card, so do get off your butt now. Whatever it is you're wanting to do, Leos, start making that issue, start pushing that issue. It looks like a snail in that back, and I'm looking at back to front, but it isn't. So that makes me feel that you might be being slow at getting something started, Leos. But rest assured, once you get that action, when you get moving and stop thinking about it or talking about it and actually do it, then things will start to flow in the direction that they should do naturally. And luck should start to fall in your side when you start taking some action there, Leo. We move on to Virgos. Page of Wands, Virgo. Now this card indicates, it's a people card, so the court cards can be two things. They can be people or they can be situations. So this could be, if it's a person around you or you yourself, Virgos, it's indicating, okay, baby, move out the way, darling. It's indicating that you're full of ideas, full of hope, full of enthusiasm. You may have younger people around you where there's good news, where there's hope, where there's enthusiasm connecting to them. For me, it's about teaching. It's about education, learning new things, adding to what you already know, Virgos. So you could find in May that you're starting to get that buzz back for learning, for educating, and for adding a feather to your cap, adding what you already know. If you are involved in teaching or children, education, for me, this is a very favourable card there. Ideas and excitement around new jobs, new opportunities, and thinking about what it is that you want to progress into. Somebody very enthusiastic, very excited about life, and is a bit of a go-getter coming in here. So that's good for Virgos. Now we've got another ace. Now we move on to, I'm losing my thread here, Scorpios. Yes, no, Libras, sorry. Move on to Libra. You've got here, Libra, the Ace of Swords. This is about a new direction, new ideas. Again, got lots of new ideas coming up in May, whether it's the spark of the new moon, whether it's the sun starting to turn there, but there's a lot of new things coming up for people this month in all signs. This card, Libra, does indicate your thought process becoming a lot clearer. You could have new contracts, new ways of thinking. It's a logic because it's a sword sign. It's indicating that there's going to be a new way of thinking and moving forward. You're cutting the past with the past, you're leaving things in the past, and you're moving forward at great speed and swiftly. and you're being quite cutting with that, which needs to be. So anything Libra that you've been wanting to move forward from and you're wanting to leave behind, this is a great card to indicate to do that. New thought. If you've been a bit fuzzy, Libras, this card indicates new thought, new thinking. You are an air sign, Libras, and this is an air sign card. And it is, air signs are deep thinkers. They do everything in their head. So it does talk about thought and thinking, but with that clarity now, with that clear guidance that you know where you're heading to, and that you can cut the rubbish and start to move forward. So new direction and clearer thinking for you, Libras. Now we move on to Scorpio. Again, new beginnings. There's a theme. New beginnings. The Fool is about new ventures. The card before this is the World, and things are coming to the end, and the Fool is about a beginning. So new ventures for you, Scorpio. Take a risk where it comes in. It could lead to adventures, it could lead to travel, it could lead to all sorts of possibilities. The hopeful possibilities are endless. While it is the Fool, and you've got to be careful that you don't act foolish with these opportunities, and that you don't act too in an immature way if something is very serious that you're wanting to take a leap of faith in. It usually, for me, has a good vibe with this card. Normally I'd have to see what else is around it to see whether that risk is going to be worth it, but I'm feeling quite positive with it, Scorpios. So I feel like I want to take a bit of a risk and just be practical, use your head, don't be daft with it. I feel here that you're in the mood, Scorpios, to venture out of your comfort zone a little bit more, to branch out of what your security pattern, what you normally do. There may well be holiday plans, travel plans that you might be booking that you're looking forward to. We've got the summer months coming up, so that wouldn't be too difficult to fit there. But with this card, it does talk about venturing. So I feel quite positive, Scorpios, that I want to say branch out of your comfort zone, take a little bit of a risk, take new opportunities, go further, go wider, and maybe do some things independently as well, not so much in teams or in groups, but look at things independently for you there, Scorpio. You've got the sun in the background, so you have got a lot of hope of that. It's also indicating about fun, freedom, being a bit childlike as well, and being more carefree with the opportunities that come up for you. We move on to then Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, King of Pentacles. Now Sagittarius, this card for me, for you, indicates that finances are looking good, okay? Or you're finally getting on top of things, or you're looking to get on top of things. You might be seeking advice of where there's financial money or home, property, anything with a material aspect to it. You could be seeking some advice there from somebody in the know. Now this card indicates for me that you're getting your house organised as well, that you're starting to either clear drawers out, you're starting to get tidy, you're starting to get neat, you're getting things organised, you're being very practical and organised. So this card has got two meanings. It could be that you've got someone coming in, helping you get practical and organised with your finances, with your home, seeking material advice from somebody such as an accountant or an estate agent. Or it could be that you are the one that is actually getting on top of your money and starting to organise your home and be very practical with it. It's an excellent card for business ventures, excellent card where money is concerned as well. But I do feel a bit higgledy-piggledy with it, so I do feel like I'm a bit there and a bit there and a bit there, and there feels like there needs to be a bit more of a sorting out, Sagittarius, getting a bit more organised, clearing what it is that you don't want anymore. Maybe you're looking to do car boots, and that's going to bring a bit extra money in for you. But I feel like I want to be clearing things, simplifying things, and being very practical in all areas, but a very, very positive card. Oh my God, baby, how many times? Look, I know you want it to be on the camera. Now, we move into, where are those, Sagittarius, we move into Capricorn now. Another great card. This card indicates that you've got all the tools to do the job, Capricorns. You can manifest whatever it is that you want. Ideas that you've got, things you've been thinking about, if you've been a bit daydreamy, especially on a spiritual level, if you've been thinking about things, you can now balance that out and be practical and bring the two together. The spirit and the earth, you're going to bring them together. You've got all the tools to do the job. So there's lots of different pots that you can go in, there's lots of different avenues, lots of different things that you can do, and you can do it quite successfully, whichever pathway it is that you choose. So you've got all the tools to do the job, so whichever way you want, you can do it. And if you want to do a little bit of everything, you can manifest that. Now the Magician is a funny one regarding relationships. For me, it's saying it can work, but it is going to need a bit of magic. It's not a flow, it's not an easy relationship, it does need a little bit more spark. So if you're looking for a bit more romance, Capricorns, you may have to put in a little bit more effort if that's where you want to go with it. I feel more around work with this card, more around creative ventures with this card. So for me, the only challenge would be relationships, where this card is like, yeah, just need to have a little bit more magic in your relationship. But anything around work, anything around your health, anything around any other area really except relationships, for me this card says you can manifest whatever it is that you want, but you're just going to have to put the effort in to do it. It's not just going to fall in your lap, but you've got all the tools to be able to do the job. So whichever path you want to choose, whichever, if it is your health, you know what you need to do to sort it out. You've got to know what it is. I do feel very spiritual with this card this month, Capricorn. So May time for you Capricorn, you might be looking at getting into more teaching, you might be looking to get into more spiritual path, and trusting your intuition and trying to make everything kind of come good around you. Everything, it feels like I want to be putting everything together, all this, that and this, bringing it all together now to be able to make it successful. But now is the time to do it. So May is a very good month at Capricorns to get things rolling in that areas. Aquarians. The Nine of Wands to me is all about keeping your head above water, but where you might have been going around in a circle for a little while, banging your head against a brick wall, you're going to start to come out of that. You're going to start to see things a lot clearer, you're going to start to see the wood through the trees, and this month there is this clearing energy that's coming in, Aquarians, where you will be able to see things a lot easier for you. You're not without the wounds, so it's not saying you're completely over everything. You will remember whatever it is that's led you to this point, but you are definitely making some breakthrough. You're not totally out the woods, there's still a little bit more to go for, but you've come so far that you can just keep on going that little bit more, Aquarians. So I feel May time for you Aquarians is just about being able to see that light at the end of the tunnel, that hope at the end of possibly a difficult situation. And although, like I say, there's a bit more ahead of you, you will be able to start to move forward. And if you've gone through stuff already, you know that there's only just a short space of rubbishy bits to go through, but then you will come out the other side. And you're definitely, I feel like you're moving into calmer waters. It'll be interesting to see what you get for June, Aquarians. But May definitely makes me feel you're moving slowly, very slowly into calmer waters, and you're starting to see that light at the end of the tunnel there, and no more banging your head against a brick wall. So a bit of an awakening on a very minor level for you Aquarians, that the bigger picture's coming. And last but not least, interesting, is Pisces. So this is all about trusting your gut instinct, Pisces, the High Priestess. She's all about your intuition. She's all about following what feels right. You might be seeking spiritual mentorship. You could be seeking spiritual advice, learning, developing, sitting in a group, sitting in a circle. But this card indicates that you've got all the answers within. So you just need to meditate. You just need to sit and listen to that inner voice, that inner knowing that you've got. You've got all the answers in the book here. You've got all the answers. So if you just sit, and we could all take a lesson out of Pisces' book this month. If you just sit and listen to what feels right for you, listen to that inner guidance, following your intuition, and also very much around spiritual people. You might want to spend more time in spiritual surroundings. I've just come back from the Arthur Finley College today. Can't get much more spiritual or psychic place than that really. And spend time with like-minded people, and there's new ideas that are going to be coming in for you, Pisces. I feel if you listen to your intuition, and if you spend time in like-minded people that have got a spiritual philosophy, spiritual belief, that you'll start to clear your own mind and come up with some new ideas there, and new growth for you, Pisces. So that's it for the month of May. Thank you very much for watching. Keep an eye out on this YouTube channel, Kate May Modern Day Mystic, and on my website, www.katemay.co.uk. If you would like to book a full reading with me, you can email me at Kate May Modern Day Mystic, or contact me on Facebook, Kate May Modern Day Mystic. Thank you very much. See you later.